Well, Niagara Falls says it's seeing an influx of asylum seekers at its border, impacting its resources, which are already stretched thin. The news comes on the heels of a similar situation in Quebec, where officials there asked the federal government to do something about the tens of thousands of asylum seekers arriving in that province. And joining us live this afternoon with more on the issue and what can be done is Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati. Mayor Diodati, good to see you this afternoon. What are you hearing from the federal government in response to your questions about what they will do to potentially help this influx in the Falls?
Well, Nick, it started with a conversation I had last week with Minister Fraser, and I was grateful for the time. And it was a great exchange of information. But there's three main things we're asking. Number one is we're asking for a seat at the table. We want to be part of the discussion so that we can be part of the solution. Secondly, there's a lot of money that's going out of the region right now to help out with food banks, with Ontario Works, and other social assistance that we're going to need some financial help on. And then the third thing, we need, there needs to be a plan, and we need to be privy to the plan. I mean, we're still coming back from COVID. We were devastated for 3 years, and now we've got this challenge, and we're concerned. We're coming into the tourism season, and we need all of our inventory for the tourists because 40,000 people in Niagara Falls count on tourism to feed their families. So we want to know the plan. And I know it's an evolving thing, and I know it could be plan A, plan B, and plan C, but we want to be part of that plan.
And when you talk about inventory, I think what you're alluding to is hotels, because we understand that many of the asylum seekers are being housed in local hotels in and around the city of Niagara Falls, Mayor. So what does that mean potentially, coming into tourist season? Like you said, we've spoken to you multiple times during the pandemic about how devastating this has been. What happens as, I assume rates go up, as the bigger tourist season comes? What is the plan for that? Do you understand that? And do you know how many people are in those hotels?
Well, and that's a great question. So upwards right now, and you're right, inventory, I'm referring to inventory of hotel rooms. We're Canada's #1 leisure destination, so we have a lot of hotel rooms, 16,000 in fact, and upwards of 2,000 of those are being utilized right now for asylum seekers. And, there could be 3-4 people in each room. So, and that's fine. It started out discreetly last summer at 87, and now we're up to almost 2,000 rooms. So it's having an impact. Although we're a big destination for tourism, we're only 95,000 people. And I have to say, we're not complaining. We're happy to do our part. We know we're a nation of immigrants, but our church groups, our service groups have been stepping up at the food banks with coats, hats, gloves. We're doing everything we can do. Our schools are filled with all these new folks. And the big challenge right now is ESL. A lot of them do not speak English, and they're trying to do a skills assessment and try to get them into jobs and whatnot. But the question is, as we coming up on our tourism season, already this weekend we had Billy Joel. The city was busy. We had Valentine's and Family Day weekends. May 24th long weekend is right around the corner. And our concern is, as the tourists return, what's going to happen to these asylum seekers and the rooms that they're renting right now?
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like a lack of compassion so much as a concern about, where things go from here in terms of what happens in Niagara Falls. So on that side of things, what are you also hearing from, from the local, I don't know, whether it's perhaps the YMCA or other different charities in terms of the stresses that they're feeling as they try to help out all of the additional people that are sort of unexpectedly there?
Well, that's another great question that you ask. And one of the challenges, and these are some of the unintended negative outcomes. I received some calls last week from some local homeless people, and what they typically do here in our community, because we have excess hotel rooms, in the winter months, they'll place some of the homeless into some of the motels and give them a place. Well, I received some calls that some of our local homeless are being displaced now to make room for some of the asylum seekers. And I don't think that's a good solution, and hope can't be our strategy. We have to have an intentional plan. We have to be proactive, and that's all we're asking is we want to help with the solution. We understand it's a big challenge, and I feel for these people. I mean, we all came from somewhere, and we want to help them, but bring us to the table. Let us be part of the problem. Don't just leave it up to our community to solve this problem.
Okay, we're just about out of time, Mayor. Do you feel like you're going to get your seat at the table, get that opportunity?
I think so. I had a great discussion with Minister Fraser. He's terrific. He understands. He was open to hearing the frontline challenges that we're having, and that's all I ask. I said, bring us in. We're here. We're not here to complain. We're here to help.
Okay, that is Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati joining us live on CP24 Live at noon. Appreciate this, Mayor Diodati. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.